Hi, Life Coach Jerry Nelson here. We're talking about anger. We're talking about how to have anger, express it in good style. We just did a video on that. And now what I'm going to talk about is a preparation video for dealing with how to deal with people that are destructive, either you or others, in expressing their anger. And one of the keys of using the three-part iMessage is to learn to be honest. And so it isn't just words. It is the real you that's coming across in expressing yourself to others in good style. Now the hazard in that is that if you're around people that are abusive or controlling or for some reason or another want to be in charge or stop your anger message to them, then you're in a whole different situation. Then you're in a situation where you're dealing with an interaction that is someone is using anger as a destructive tool or as a controlling tool or a distancing tool or whatever. So realize that the three-part iMessage does work, but it works with healthy people. And now we're going to talk about some dysfunctional people and give you some background on that. And the typical dysfunctional system is a system where you have an abuser, and we're going to just use chemical abuse, but it could be any kind of abuse. And you have someone in that system that is an enabler, and then we have a persecutor. They're persecuting them. Now, the interesting part of this triangle is that these three roles are switchable in an instant. In other words, the abuser can become the persecutor by hitting his wife, or the wife can become the persecutor by putting the husband in jail. There's just all kinds of ways that this can in an instant change. But when you realize how the three roles make this dysfunction, then you'll realize how to deal with anger. Now, one of the cardinal rules in an alcoholic family is that you have to lie in order to get your needs met. In other words, if this person is drinking too much and the wife says, hey, I need money for groceries, and he'll get angry and go drinking because she's putting pressure on him. Just a homely example, but nevertheless an example of how you are taught systemically to not tell the truth in a alcoholic or other abusive system. So what do you do? How do you deal with this kind of a thing when you're trying to live a better lifestyle? You're trying to have be doing a lifestyle of constructive anger, and the question is, well, if you're in this kind of a system, how do you get to constructive anger? And the real way that you do that is by going outside of the system. The system internally won't change. These roles sit there and move around, but they have no reason to change because everybody has some kind of a reason that they've stayed in this system. Now, if you want to get from this abusive type of anger to a constructive type of anger, you have to go outside of this system. You have to break the system to a higher level, to a different result. So when you see an alcoholic go to treatment and start learning how to live in a more successful way, you'll see sometimes that the enabler or the persecutors, their main role is enabler or persecutor. You'll see them literally try to bring the alcoholic back into an alcoholic pattern because they don't know how to deal with this person that's now expressing themselves in good style with their feelings, whether it's anger or other feelings. So the only way that this kind of a system can change, as far as what I've seen so far in life, is by having AA, having Al-Anon, having NA, having whatever anonymous group that is useful in bringing these people out of their roles. And what that group does is it helps that person to learn to know what their real feelings are, because you literally get your feelings trained out of you in an alcoholic system, because you learn to lie. And if you really expressed your anger, you wouldn't be able to survive in the alcoholic system. So what happens by going to Al-Anon or going to AA is that people literally learn to become aware of who they are, and then to start expressing it in their normal system, and then that typically will collapse that system one way or another. Either these other people will decide to become healthy too and go to the alcoholic is now in AA, and now the non-alcoholic is in Al-Anon, and so on. So that gives you a little background of how anger works in a destructive way.